What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about Talen Horton Tucker possibly moving to a different team. Not because he doesn't want to play for the Lakers, not because he's too good for the Lakers, but it mainly is about money. The Lakers extend Anthony Davis, they extend LeBron James, they extend guys like Kyle Kuzma. They want to extend Dennis Schroeder too. And eventually, as you can see, there's not going to be as much money around for everybody on this team to eat. That was a good reason why this team is totally different than the team last year, because not only did they want better talent, they wanted a better team so that way they have a better chance of repeating. But one of their interesting pieces was Talen being able to develop in a small amount of minutes last year and being able to push yourself to develop into a way better player this year, being a decent playmaker, being a guy that can play on and off the ball from time to time, being a guy that can create in multiple ways, and being able to knock down mid-range jumpers or even get to the basket. And he is a legitimate 6'4", which is very impressive because he's also 233 pounds, while also shooting 48 from the field, 36 from three, 91 from the free throw line, and giving you 1 assist, 2 rebounds within those 16 minutes. Obviously, if he leaves the Lakers, he gets more minutes, more playing time, and more opportunity. The problem is people see what he's doing productively, and it's not like he's just chasing stats. It's not like he's just taking advantage of the opportunity. The guy actually has skill, and the guy actually can play. And a lot of people have been wanting to know what I thought about him for a long time, because I never made a video about him, or I never really bring him up that much, because this year he's also showing a lot more and getting a lot more run, and he's showing you that he can be a decent piece on your offensive team. Now, can Talen be a number one option? I don't see that, but he can be a great complementary piece. As we know, it's a lot of teams out here that need that third guy that can do what he brings to the table already at 20. But not only that, you can lock him down for 3 to 4 years, and you're not going to pay him that much money. The max they can really pay him his first couple years is about $9 million. Then they can pay him more in that third and fourth year, which is important because that's something you can get to entice him to want to sign, and it makes it tougher for the Lakers to be able to pay him now that they committed to a lot of money with this roster already. They're not going to be able to pay him that type of contract, especially if it gets beefy those third and fourth year, unless they let people go. Will Talen even be worth that for the Lakers, considering that they already have wings that can play his position and do similar things, and they still do have LeBron James, who is one of the best playmakers and decision makers in the league and of all time. So Talen, it's just about doing what's best for him and his family. If he feels like he can get a better deal and a better opportunity, which we see most guys that's young do, you can't really blame him for taking the spotlight and the chance that he had in LA, showing that he can produce, showing what he can bring to the table, and teams not being interested. They're going to be interested, and they're going to be willing to pay him the money, because one man trash is another man treasure. This team doesn't really need him as much. They don't really need to rely on him as much, while another team looks at him and say he's the right fit. He's the right guy for what we need at these positions. And I don't really blame a team for thinking that, because his upside is ridiculous if he can actually get the minutes and the playing time and be able to build chemistry, obviously, with the team that he is on or he chooses to go to, which to me just makes him an interesting prospect in free agency, just because nobody would even be talking about him if it wasn't for preseason and what he has been able to do so far this year. And you look at that, to be able to put up those type of numbers and that type of efficiency while only playing 16 to 17 minutes a game, that's just a small sample size of what he can really bring to the table. We have seen guys like Harrison Barnes and Jeremy Grant take the money, but not, just because they needed it, because they wanted an opportunity to prove how good they was and prove that they can possibly be stars. And I don't see Talen being no different. Obviously, they can pay him the $10 million a year, but they can't pay him the 30s like another team could in the future. And he already has teams that's interested in him and let him know that the Knicks, the Cavaliers, and the Mavericks are already all interested in signing him. And you look at one of the weakest positions on the Mavericks is the guard position. Josh Richardson isn't the greatest scorer, he isn't the greatest shooter, and Talen can give them some scoring and some passing to go alongside Luka and obviously Porzingis. And you look at the Knicks; they're looking for a guy that they can build around with Obi and possibly even another lottery pick this year. And Talen can fit perfectly in at that guard position because he is young, he can shoot, he can play make, and he's already to me a little bit better than Barrett because of his outside ability. And he had more opportunity, so the numbers should be better than Barrett too, because they will need him to do more compared to what the Lakers need him to do currently. And then you obviously look at the Cavaliers. I don't really like that fit for the Cavaliers just because I prefer them just to put Isaac at the two, because I don't see why would they put Isaac at two like at the three like they've been doing. He's undersized and he's so small. Plus Darius Garland and Colin Sexton aren't the best decision makers right now. And one of them actually should come off the bench so they can have a better bench. So to me, Talen will be taking Isaac's spot, but I like Isaac defense a lot better, and he has upside too. But if you can get Isaac with Colin Sexton and Garland, eventually you're going to have to pay all three of them. Plus, you're going to have to pay Talen, and then you're already paying Drummond, who you might want to keep, you might not. Same with Kevin Love. Then you still got to fill out the rest of your roster. So it's more difficult for a team like the Cavaliers compared to the Knicks and the Mavericks that clearly need upgrades at the guard position. So to me, Talen just got to figure out if he can get this playing time, and if he can continue to produce the way he has been producing in the minutes that he has been getting, he's going to have guys and teams that's going to be willing to invest money in him just because of his upside and his potential. So to me, he's going to be a guy, if you're the Lakers, that you pay attention to this year, because if he has a big playoff run in this year, or he has a long stretch of really putting up good numbers like he's been doing already to the start of the season, don't be surprised if he's gone in the next couple years, just because the team is willing to give him the money and the opportunity that the Lakers just can't give, because they have Caldwell Pope locked up too. Plus, LeBron James does similar stuff playmaking wise, and he's going to be there for another 3 years. And they already have Anthony Davis, and they still trying to give money to Schroeder and also Kyle Kuzma and Morris and all these guys. So to me, I don't see a realistic world where the Lakers keep Talen unless he just wants to be there and he doesn't mind coming off the bench playing a smaller role, because a team can offer him way much more things compared to the Lakers. So I just wanted to make this video to let you know I do like what Talen been doing. He's a well-rounded player. He has enormous potential because he's only 20 and he has good skill and good fundamentals to be 20, because you really usually don't see that. And you usually don't see a guy that can get you a bucket off the dribble and also put the ball on the floor and get to the basket while also being a good decision maker at his age. Those things you just don't see. Those usually come around 23, 24, 25, and he already has those skill set now at 20. And, this is a guy that has potential, like I said, to get significantly better, which makes him more of an interesting prospect compared to the other players on the Lakers. So not only could they get a decent thing in return, but you also don't want to lose him for nothing if he really wants to go to a different team and seize the opportunity where he can make a name for himself and really, get accolades for if he plays well with those teams. So I do expect him to eventually have to decide what he's trying to do. Obviously, the Lakers can match any offer, but the question is, will they be willing to pay him that much money down the line when a team can just offer him way more money than they can really afford? And there's nothing really they can do. They gave him the shine. They gave him the opportunity. They let him show what he can bring to the table. And teams are already interested in taking him away from the Lakers. And it's crazy. It's funny because the Lakers getting excited about him. But honestly and truthfully, he might not be there that long because of how good he is and what he's showing already at age 20. So check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. You can buy merchandise on my Facebook page just like this. You can change the color of the hat and customize it the way you want it to be. And you can also do that for shirts. You can also buy exclusive merchandise on my Spreadshirt. That will also be in the description in the comment section below. But not only that, If you don't want to buy any merchandise, liking and sharing is another way you can support the channel. Not only that, I make videos every single day, whether it's breakdowns of legends, players, rookies, and even summer league coverage and summer league breakdowns, free agency top 10 lists, season previews, and even if it's just playoff predictions or even discussions of the hottest topics or just talking about basketball just like this, I bring that to the table. Also, feel free to comment. I'll read every single comment, so don't be afraid to let me know what you think, good or bad. And also, hope you guys enjoy the rest of y'all day. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. And I will be talking to y'all tomorrow with another video as the NBA continues to go and games continue to get played. I also got to cover that. So, see y'all tomorrow.